and asking for what you want in life, you know, really putting it into manifestation. So an idea that I thought of to show you all that really asking for what you want in business, in your life, in your passions, in your dreams, anything that you want. So I really wanted to just ask, I know you got some supercars. Would you ever let me drive one and kind of just chat with you about the car?
Bro, you can drive anything, man. Hey, look, when I was growing up, I was always infatuated with three things: cars, sports and working out, and the girls. Even like I was 4 years old, I was like looking at cars and I was like, wow. I was like, oh, look at the sports, and I was looking at girls. I didn't even know anything about them, but I was, oh my God, she looks good, you know? So I was infatuated, but I always like looked at cars and things like that. But I remember at that age, whenever I got near of a car, usually the person was like, man, don't get near my car, watch that kid, this and that. So whenever I get to inspire someone, when I see anyone, I'm like, hey man, get in the car, drive it. Matter of fact, man, hey, you want to drive it? We can go out there and get drive it.
That'd be awesome.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
All right.
Let's do it. Got it. Look at that. Woo.
Dreamed of this. I always dreamed of this. I always dreamed of having a protection German Shepherd for my family, a fully trained German Shepherd. I always dreamed about having a mansion. I always dreamed about having a car for a different day of the week. I always dreamed about that, but I never thought I would get here. You know, growing up very humbly, you know, coming to America with, like I said, $500 in the luggage, growing up in the projects, you know, getting food stamps, getting free lunches at school. You know what I mean? I never thought one day I'll be here, you know, and this is surreal for me. You know, I still don't think this is real. And I'm just blessed. And I'm telling you right now that America is the greatest country in the world. If you can't do it here, you're not going to do it anywhere. Believe me, I've been all around the world. This is where it's at.
What's happening, guys? Coast to Coast Studios, your host for Behind the Grams, where we jump to some of the stories, the motivations, and inspirations behind what we do as creators, artists, entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody in general chasing a dream. I'm so excited and pleased to be introducing Sam Bakhtiar. Let's just jump right into it and introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I'm Sam Bakhtiar. I'm 45 years old, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an Persian American. We came in the country with $500 in luggage, and now I own a multi-million-dollar company.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. Let's jump into Behind the Grams. Can we hear a little bit more of that story? How did you get to where you are today?
Oh man, you know Drake said it's God's plans. It was God's plans.
Oh wow,
I mean?
that's amazing.
I knew at a very young age that I want to be different. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to have a better life than what I had. You know, when I was born, my dad left us when I was 3 years old. And I never saw my dad again.
Wow.
So that was a huge blow. You know, we'd go to people's homes. We never had a home. We lived with my grandpa and grandma. And then we moved to the United States because for 8 years we were getting bombed on. I lived in an old country. You heard of a guy named Saddam Hussein, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He was bombing on us for 8 years.
Wow.
So we moved out. We came to the United States when I was 11 years old with my single mom, $500, one luggage.
That's amazing.
Yep. So we came there, and when I was coming to America, you know, I thought I was coming to a nation where everybody was a millionaire. Yeah. Because, you know, I was watching some American shows, right?
You were given this perception of what America was.
Yeah, so, you know, I was watching some of the American shows like the soap operas and everything. I was like, oh my God, everybody has Olympic-sized swimming pools and Cadillacs and mansions. And, you know, but nobody showed the hood in America. So I came to a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania, which is a very depressed part of the nation. Old steel town where all the steel mills closed. And in 1985 it was the middle of crack cocaine epidemic. Wow. You know, and my uncle did what most Middle Easterns do when they come to America. He had a convenience store in the hood. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I went right to work with my uncle, and you know, I remember it was brick roads, abandoned buildings. It was so bad on the street. I mean, you look, you know, pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers. Matter of fact, there was a sign on the street that says, "No loitering. If you hang around the street, you're gonna get arrested."
Yeah.
You know, and so I went
public
to
area.
yeah. So I went to 7th grade. Imagine middle of nowhere America. Even right now, there's very little minority there.
Absolutely.
But in 1985, I was the minority. I was the only minority.
Wow.
So I walked into 7th grade, not having the same clothes as everybody else, different haircut, don't speak the language.
Yeah.
I walk into school, and it was like in Michael Jackson's Beat It video. There was white people on this side, there was black people on this side, and they're looking at me like, "What are you?
Where do you go?
Where hey, are you one of us? Do you listen to Kool Moe Dee, or do you listen to Metallica?
Yeah.
Or what are you on?" And it was just rough, you know. Remember, 11 years old, you know, kids can be cruel at the time.
Absolutely.
You know, and here I was in America. So I went to the guidance counselor and asked her, I said, "I'm going to go in 7th grade and I want to play football."
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we'll play football. I was like, this country is weird. Because
You thought it was soccer?
Yeah. I said, this country is real. My English is not that good, but I know this is the foot.
Yeah.
And this is the ball. You know, I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, and they're like, no, that's called soccer. You know, this is football. I'm like, well, I don't know what that's all about. I see people trying to kill themselves, you know, and you know, well, how baseball? I'm like, I never even heard of baseball. And they're like, well, basketball. I'm like, oh, basketball.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. At least I know the object of the game is to put the ball in the hoop. I don't know what the object of the game for football.
Yeah.
And baseball, I still struggle with that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I said, all right, well, I'm going to play out for the, I'm going to try for the basketball team. So try for the, the basketball team. Didn't make it. You know, I was devastated.
Being like me and you, being the short.
You know, you're 5'5".
Yeah.
I knew white man couldn't jump, but Persian man really can't jump. And I had no skills. You know what I mean? No skills, no athletic ability on the court. I knew how to play soccer though.
Yeah.
But I remember it was like such a devastating blow. New country, no friends, no language, no sport. And I came to a very depressed area where it was abandoned buildings and it was just a bad vibe, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And getting picked on in school and all that kind of stuff, not being American. So I remember walking home in the snow, crying. Went to my room, shut the door. My mom comes, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Mom, I hate this country. This is not for me. I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go back. This is not, I don't have a sport." And Mom was like, "Hey, stop your whining. Here's what you do. All you have to do is practice and get better."
Okay.
So here's the game plan. After school, go to the boys club, practice basketball from 2:30 to 5, and I come pick you up. We'll go home. We'll do your homework, take a shower, eat, and repeat it 5 days a week and try out next year. So that was the game plan.
Nice.
So I started going to this boys club, and I started playing.
Did that point in your life really teach you routine?
Yeah. So that was a routine. Yeah, that was a routine. Now, here's what I need to be successful. Great catch. Great catch.
Yeah.
You know, that's not. So I go to school. Here's my routine. To next year, I'm gonna become very successful. Good catch, because I never thought about that. That might have been the first routine I had.
Well, that might have been a big changing point of your life.
Good catch, man. Good
Absolutely.
catch. You know, so that was the game plan. So when I was going to playing basketball, I saw these guys go in this room upstairs.
Okay.
You know, these guys walk like this. You know, walking like this. And at that time, I was like, 11, 12 years old. I was watching Arnold movies and, some of the Rocky movies and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God, I want to be like them. So I saw these guys. I'm like, I wonder what they're doing up there. So man, one day I went up there to try to see what this room is. This room was like a little upstairs garage.
Yeah.
Bunch of rusty weights, big old blue collar steel workers, lifting like 4 or 5 plates, yelling at each other, and whoever got there first with their boombox, that's what the music they played.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody was always pissed off because whoever got there first, that was the music, that was the respect thing, right? And I was too self-conscious to go, work out with all those big guys. I would wait for them to leave, and I would sneak upstairs and I would lift by myself. If you know anything about lifting, especially in the beginning, you don't lift free weights without a spotter.
Absolutely.
I literally killed myself like so many times. So many times I came down. I was like, oh God, I'm not one of those. Nobody had to roll it over. Have black and blue marks everywhere. But what happened was, I started seeing baby muscles. Yeah. You know what baby muscles are? Baby muscles are the muscles that you can only tell on yourself. Nobody else can tell on. You think you have muscles that nobody else can tell, right? So I started to develop little baby muscles. And I was like in front of mirror flexing and all that kind of stuff. And I started becoming infatuated with body transformation, not only by what it did for my body, but now, remember, my self-esteem wasn't a dumps.
How it made you
I wasn't
feel.
accepted, and now all of a sudden people are accepting me, and they're like, wow, you're strong, how you're built, you know, and it started giving me some sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
You know, and
so you said, boom, that makes me feel good. I'm going to focus a little bit on that also, and it improves your life, your business, and everything.
Absolutely. You know, and I got $20 a week allowance, you know, from my mom, and I literally would go take that $20. I went to GNC, buy the latest vitamin or anything like that. I would just go in there and do a set of exercise and pop amino acid pill, flex the mirror, you know, that kind of stuff.
Did you have any big trainers that really inspired you when you were younger?
No.
No, you just did it all yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I just did what I saw at the gym.
When did you finally start saying, okay, I'm going to work out with everybody?
So when I went to college, you know, I started going to college and I started doing personal training.
Yeah.
And that's when I started really getting into anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, and started actually working with people to be able to transform their bodies.
Okay. So then you began through college. From college to now, how did you get to where you are? What's your business? Tell us a little bit more about it.
So growing up, my mom always said, Sam, you know, she's an old school Middle Eastern lady. She said, Sam, there can only be 3 things in life if you're going to be successful: doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Because if you're not doctor, lawyer, engineer, then you're basically nobody. That's how we were brought up. And she said, preferably a doctor. So I had no choice. You know, like my mom said, you want to be a doctor? But I researched all the doctors. I'm like, well, I don't really want to operate on someone. I don't want to drill somebody's teeth. I'm like, what doctor has to do with muscles, bones, and nutrition? Everything that I want to do that's going to help me with my bodybuilding and all that. So I decided to become a doctor of chiropractic. So I went to Penn State, and I got my master's in pre-medicine nutrition. Transferred to, all while I was personal training, transferred to Los Angeles College of Chiropractic, and I got my doctorate of chiropractic in 1999. Meanwhile, I was, you know, personal training and started competing in bodybuilding.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Branding, how did you brand it? How did you build such a reputable name?
Well, you know, in the beginning, I didn't know anything about branding. For me, it's all about working out and getting people in shape, and not until I started my business in February 15th of 2000, even all the way up until like 2006, 7, 8, I was just, you know, I was working because I was passionate about it. I didn't know anything about business or branding. But once I started getting serious about business, I'm like, okay, wait a second. Okay, well, now I'm going to get married. I'm going to start having some kids. Maybe I need to take the business for real. This is not a hobby no more that's going to pay my bills. Now I want to be able to feed my children. That's when I started getting mentors, you know, looking more for branding, learning marketing, learning business side of the business, and not just the fun part.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about mentors, what were some of the techniques that you used to find and get mentorship? Do you feel that somebody like me, do you feel you have to personally ask, will you be my mentor, or how do you go about doing that?
First of all, you know, you always have to ask.
Absolutely.
You know, you should never be afraid of asking. It's like, you know, you want to date a beautiful girl, right?
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen, right?
Somebody's gonna say
You know, I think
no.
we talked about this before the podcast, right? You know, you say no, but if you say, okay, at 100 no, it's going to be a yes. You know, you're going to be like, how many no's can I get, right?
Absolutely.
It's fail fast, fail forward. You know, but when it comes to mentors, ask. But you want to look at a mentor as who you relate with.
Absolutely.
Who you want to be like. Who has done what you want to do.
I agree.
And just ask them and befriend them and
I think it's a big building a relationship before you just jump in and doing that.
Absolutely. And you know what? And you know, a lot of people say, hey, mentor me. And most people would love to mentor, but they first want to make sure they're not wasting their time.
Yeah, are you going to work hard enough for yourself?
Absolutely.
As I'm going to work for you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree. And I don't believe mentorship is necessarily, here, I'm going to teach you this, go do this. It's more, hey, I have this problem that I'm facing. What do you feel the best way of going about this and solving that?
The problem, yep.
Absolutely. So that's good to know. What do you feel are some of your biggest motivations that keep you driven every single day?
My kids, man.
Your kids?
You know,
Family.
I have the biggest fear. I was telling that to my wife yesterday. I was driving. I said, you know, I have this big fear to this day that I'm not going to be able to provide for my children.
Wow.
You know, even though, like, you know, you see me here, you know, I have all these things. You know, still my insecurity is because I remember growing up not having a dad and going to people's homes. Everybody had nice homes and everybody getting bikes and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not getting the same stuff. And so to this day, my biggest fear is not being able to be the dad that I want to be a provider that I want for my family.
So that, I imagine, drives you more than anything in this world.
I mean, look, you know, my daughters, you know, I give them enough, but not so much that it feels spoiled. But they understand that, wow, dad has worked hard. Dad has got to this level, you know, and I want them to understand.
You can be an inspiration
Absolutely,
to them.
that's what I want to do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I very much agree with that. Looking back on yourself, what is one of your biggest failures that sticks out to you? And when I say failure, I view a failure as a learning lesson and a point in your life to grow, not only in your business, but also personally. So looking back, what would be one of your biggest failures / learning lessons?
Gosh, man, I can't, you know, God, there's
many of them, yeah.
God, so many of them, man. You know, I have, you know, my life has been a series of failures, but it's funny because so many of these failures that I thought was going to be the end of the world really ended up being a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
You know, gosh, man, I mean, if I have to name one, will be my divorce.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know, my divorce will be like, you know, my biggest failure. You know, that happened, but ended up being the biggest blessing in disguise.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so many of them that I can name, but
same with you growing up as a child in the hood. You know, that was a very hard time, but a blessing in disguise because it showed you exactly where you don't want to be.
Absolutely, you can learn a couple of different ways.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? People that you want to be like, and people like, you know what, I absolutely never want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Some of your goals, 2019, I'm very excited for it. What are some of your goals, short-term goals, looking into 2019?
Honestly, you know, to be very, very frank with you, you know, I actually, you know, in my book in the car, I have them written down.
Oh, wow.
You know, so let me tell you what are some of my goals, because I've written down and I read them every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I do the same thing.
So one of the biggest goals I have is my new brand, 1% Nutrition, you know, which is a passion project.
Wow.
You know, because when you start a passion project, it's like, well, it's not really paying the bills, but it's something I'm absolutely loving to do right now. So I want to be able to get that, you know, as far as monetary wise, so $10 million next year. You know, this year we've done almost $500,000 in 6 months.
Okay.
And I want to kind of 10x that.
Cool.
You know, as far as monetary, you know, my personal thing is I want to be able to spend as much time with the girls. I have a list of places that I want to take the girls.
That's amazing.
You know, and I'm having twins on the way.
What's one of the biggest places you'd like to take them?
I want to take them to Alani in Hawaii.
Wow.
You know, I want to
What's the reasoning for that?
Because they kept asking about Hawaii. They saw, you know, they saw the Disney movie. What was it called? You know, what was that Disney movie?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I watched it 77 times. You know, it's so funny. The kids watch the same movie for 70 times and they still laugh, you know, just as hard.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to take them there, and they keep saying about volcanoes. So I want to be able to fly them over the helicopter over the volcanoes and have them
That's
see
the
that.
best way that I feel they could learn. You know,
Yes.
traveling experience is the strongest learning tool you can do.
Absolutely.
So I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Some of your bigger goals. What are some of your life goals that you want to fulfill?
Yeah, so I have my life goals written. You know, this is my 2019 goals here, and my life goals are here. Literally 5 things. You know, my life goal is, you know, to be a person of significance. You know, to be able to have my success rub off on others. The highest level of success is significance.
Absolutely.
You know, so like I told you, you know, before the podcast, you know, once your basic necessities are met, let's just say somebody comes in and gives me a check for $100 million right now.
Okay.
Right? My lifestyle wouldn't change.
Yeah.
I have a nice home. I have a couple of nice cars. My kids go to the best schools. I have everything that I want. I'm still going to be the same person.
Absolutely.
Now, after that, because, all right, what can I do now? Now he's like, all right, man, now let me help others.
Absolutely.
Now I get enjoyment of seeing, you know, young entrepreneurs like yourself come up and be able to help and contribute to others. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And I want to fully retire. What I mean retire is by not having to have a phone with me. You know what I mean? When I don't have to have a phone with me, my goal is by May 1st, 2023 latest, to have a flip phone that only I get up to call people whenever I need to, and then shut it off.
Yeah, emergency.
You know, because I want to be present. I want to be present with my children.
Enjoy your life.
I want to enjoy my life. Something that, you know, it's been tougher and tougher to do with multiple businesses and all the employees and everything.
Speaking of employees, something I'd like to really learn about is delegating tasks. How are some of your ways that you delegate bigger tasks, smaller tasks to employees?
Well, it's really important. You as a person have to understand what's important and what's not important.
Okay.
And really sit down and make a list and break it down, and say what's important, what's urgent, what's not important.
Yeah.
Right? And as a business owner, you only want to work on important stuff. Important stuff is what's going to catapult your business in the long run.
Absolutely.
It doesn't do anything on a short term. All the short term stuff is that urgent stuff, which is putting out fires.
Absolutely.
And if you just put out fires all the time, you're stuck where you want to be. You're not working on important stuff, right? So once you identify, what tasks are important, what tasks are urgent, then you can delegate properly. And whenever you delegate, anything, you gotta have parameters to what I call inspect what you expect.
Okay.
You can't just delegate something, and expect it to happen. You have to have check station and inspect it once in a while. Make sure what you have delegated is getting done correctly.
Getting done. That makes sense.
And I call it a 95-5 rule, right? You heard of 80-20 principle, right?
Yep.
So I call it 95-5, which is 5% of the things you do equals 95% of your results.
Okay.
And 95% of things you do only equals 5% of your results. So that 95% of stuff you got to get rid of and focus on those 5 things you need to do to give you the best.
Wow.
Give you the best results.
Could not have broken it down better than that. Yeah. That's a good rule. Did you come up with that kind of yourself?
Yeah, I basically it's a Pareto's principle, 80-20 rule. But I'm like, nah, it's even less than that. If you really hone down on things, it's only like a few things that you really need to do to catapult yourself.
Absolutely.
Everything else is BS.
What are your views on higher education? I know we should be constantly learning, but how do you feel about colleges?
Yeah, I know where you go. Yeah, I know where you're going.
We have YouTube now. My big views is we have the internet. We can learn everything from the internet. And experience.
Well, let me tell you the pros and cons of college. Okay. College has taught me discipline. College has taught me how to work well with others. Okay. How to be punctual. College has taught me many intangible things. Yeah. Do I use even 5% of stuff that I've learned in college? Absolutely not.
Yes.
But it has taught me some very great intangibles. However, if you can learn those intangibles and be disciplined enough to dedicate yourself to the craft, and that's a big word. A lot of people say, I'm disciplined enough. No, you're not disciplined. Yeah. I'm talking about being obsessed and disciplined on something. You can do it on your own, and you save so much money and so much heartaches and time. And this is somebody who has his doctorate degree. I mean, these days you can literally learn how to do surgery on YouTube. Not that that's what you want to do, but at least you know the basics and all that kind of stuff. Where nowhere else you're able to do that.
Absolutely. So, well, I'm amazed because I look at people. I'm not sure if you know Princey. He's a motivational speaker, but he's more of a poet. And he has a video called "What's School For," and he I'll send it to you. But he speaks of a lot of different points on like everyone we study in school that's big didn't graduate. George Washington, Lincoln, all these big people in it, and it shows that you don't necessarily do what's best for you. I went to college, I graduated college, but I see the things that I've learned, but I also see that I could have learned and saved a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of heartache in the field, because I've learned more shadowing or assisting somebody than I would have ever sitting in a classroom.
Well, in life in general, it's evolve or perish, right? It's survival of the fittest. And when you look at, any animal or any organism, the reason they went extinct is because they weren't adapting to the times.
Absolutely.
Right? The person who can adapt to times is the one who's going to be able to stay relevant and to stay alive. And college was great for industrial age.
Absolutely.
Right? Industrial age where you need to learn a certain skill or do something to be able to go work in a factory or be able to do that. That was in 1900s. Now we're in information age, and so if you don't adapt and learn and just keep people to the same systems as they were going, I mean, gosh, man, in college, nobody taught me anything about business. Nobody taught me about entrepreneurship.
Never mind college, high school. That stuff should be taught in high school.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I remember, my mom said, "Sam, become a doctor or an engineer, you're gonna become rich." So I went to 8 years of school. I got $140,000 in student loans. I come out and I thought, where's the money? Nobody's hiring me.
You pay $100,000 for a $40,000 job.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I was devastated. I was devastated. Creditors was calling me, and this is something that I haven't really shared with many people. But in 1999, I filed for bankruptcy.
Wow.
Because I got out of school with all these debts and nobody was hiring me. I didn't know what to do, and I was like, wait a second.
It's a lot of money to have as somebody getting out of college.
Yeah, but you can't file bankruptcy for student loans.
No, you can't.
But I was so overwhelmed with credit card bills and all that kind of stuff. I didn't even know what to do. I was just getting out of college. I got tired of people calling me all the time. Hey, you owe payment, you owe payment, you owe payment. So that's something that's that haunts me to this day.
You had to kind of suck up your pride and do what you had to do.
Yes, absolutely. And that could have been avoided if I would have had the right mentors or right things.
Absolutely.
Right?
But I think that happening to you was a necessity that you had to go through.
Absolutely.
So it was a failure. Perfect. If you could say something to an entrepreneur, business owner, young person striving towards their dreams to really inspire them, what would one thing be that you would pick to say to them?
Gosh, don't get in a rat race. Here's what I see a lot of, I had this conversation earlier with Joe and his boys.
Okay.
I had this conversation earlier, and what would be one thing? See, here's what happens with a lot of people. So a lot of people, we are in a society where we're all about buying things and material things, and we have so many new advertisements in our face right now. The latest iPhone, the latest shoes, the latest thing all the time coming up. And so we get caught in a rat race, right? We buy stuff that we can't afford and we just make payments on it, right? Yeah. And the problem with that is that, okay, so let's just say, you have a certain amount of overhead, but you need to make a certain amount to be able to stay afloat. Well, now you get in a rat race. Yeah. Now you can't really, scale back and say, look, I want to just take my time to find my passion, be able to make something great. But in the whole time, you're in a fight or flight. Work to pay bills, work to pay bills, work to pay bills. And next thing you know, you're 50, 60 years old.
You live accustomed to what society makes you think you should have or want.
Be frugal.
Absolutely.
Have low overhead and really, really find your passion, hone in and make money from that. And then later on, you can have whatever you want. The key to success, in my opinion, is delayed gratification. Yeah. The best book, on that is, Who Moved My Marshmallow? Don't Eat the Marshmallow. Oh. Don't Eat the Marshmallow. Do you know about the marshmallow study? Okay. So, in the 1940s, Stanford did a study of a bunch of kids. So they put a marshmallow in front of them, and they said for every, so many minutes you don't eat the marshmallow, you get 2 marshmallows. Okay. And some kids ate it, some kids licked it, some kids didn't eat it. And they were able to follow into their 40s and 50s.
And they showed that they were more successful?
The kids who were able to resist temptation were able to be the most successful. And that's amazing. Think about it. You want, let's just say you want to save some money right now. Okay. You have a goal. You say, I want to save X amount of money this year. Yep. And you do good the first 2 weeks or the first 2 months. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, this new Jordans come out. Oh, the new iPhone come out. You're like, man, I really want the iPhone, but I really need to save. But the iPhone is right now. I can get it in my hand and this feels good, but savings, it's not right now. It's later, for a year later. So they lose that. Yeah. Or same thing with, wanting to lose weight. Oh, I want to lose weight. New Year's coming up, right? Yeah. I want to lose weight. Let's lose weight. I want to do this. Do good for a few weeks. Oh, but guess what? There's pizza and nachos in front of you. Yeah. Oh man, can I delay that gratification?
It's hard to think long term.
Correct. Because it's right there is immediate. Long term is not till later.
Absolutely. That's something that's very interesting to think about. How do you think the best way of teaching your kids to be patient and teaching that is?
It's definitely a learned trait, and I believe some of them is genetics. Yeah. I have very firm belief that certain races are better than others. You know what I mean? And I don't want to sound racist or like that. It's just genetics. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you follow, the whole history of things, certain races are able to be more frugal and delay gratification. Wow. And if you notice that, they're the richest people in the world. Yeah, absolutely. And they learn from a very young age to be able to not give in to temptation. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting to think about. Yeah. Something that I wanted to really show on this episode is, we digged into it a little bit before, was asking for what you want in life, really putting it into manifestation. So an idea that I thought of to show you all that really asking for what you want in business, in your life, in your passions, in your dreams, anything that you want. So I really wanted to just ask, I know you got some supercars. Would you ever let me drive one and kind of just chat with you about the car? Bro, you can drive anything, man. Hey, look, when I was growing up, I was always infatuated with 3 things. cars,
Okay.
sports and working out,
Yeah.
and the girls. Even like I was 4 years old, I was like looking at cars and I was like, wow. I was like, oh, look at the sports, and I was looking at girls. I didn't even know anything about them, but I was, oh my God, she looks good. You know?
Yeah.
So I was infatuated, but I always like looked at cars and things like that. But I remember at that age, whenever I got near a car, usually the person was like, man, don't get in my car, watch that kid, this and that. So whenever I get to inspire someone,
Absolutely.
when I see anyone, I'm like, hey man, get in the car, drive it.
That's
Matter of fact, man, hey, you want to drive it? We can go out there and drive
Yeah,
it.
that'd be awesome.
You
man.
want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's
right.
do it, man. Got it. Look at that. Amazing. This over here, where we can see both. Okay.
Oh, cool. So that's like a remote thing? That's pretty cool.
It's a GoPro, yeah.
Oh, that's a GoPro?
Yeah, a little GoPro. Wow, look at this. That's amazing. All right, so just like a regular car, huh?
Yeah, it's right there.
Woo. Perfect.
So the reverse is like this.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what this car means to you.
Well, for me, you know, a Rolls Royce means the best of the best.
Yeah.
Means nothing compromised. Means is the 1%. You know, doing everything above and beyond what you know anybody else would do.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, if you even touch the carpet in this car is made of mink.
Wow.
You know, it's like a mink jacket. You know, everything here is all handmade, custom made. So you know, when you say a luxury car, the first thing that comes in your mind is a Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
Mercedes is a great luxury car. But Rolls Royce is just a whole different,
another ball field.
another ballpark where there's absolutely nothing compromised, no matter what the cost.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So you put your whole love and hard work and dedication into this.
Yeah.
Something that you can be proud of, ride around with your.
Oh, you know what? This car doesn't define me or anything like that. You know, it's, you know, for me, I always like cars. I appreciate a Volkswagen Rabbit or a Volkswagen Beetle or any car for what it does. I'm a car enthusiast, but for me, this just represents the best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, in life, I think we should all strive to become the best of the best version of ourselves. Not to compete with anybody, but become the best you can be.
What do you feel when you feel that you've reached the best you could be? What do you do then?
Oh man, you know, you have to reach for higher. You know, the biggest fear I have, one of the biggest fears I have, other than not being able to provide for my family, is not to live up to my potential.
Yeah.
To settle for less than what I can possibly be. You know, at the end of the life, when it's time for me to go, I'm gonna know that I became the best person that I could possibly be.
Absolutely. And that's a big thing that I look at too is as I live my life, I say, as long as I'm striving to be the best version of myself possible, I could die tomorrow and be happy knowing that I've strived to be the best version of myself possible, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think a big importance is always believing in yourself, always believing what you can do.
Yeah.
And like David Meltzer said, he says, it's sad when my reality surpasses your imagination, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's very inspiring. Have you ever you've mentioned that you've let people drive your car?
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest reasons why you said yes?
Hey man, you know, if I can inspire someone, a car is just a material object.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? you wreck it. Well, guess what? I'll buy another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's no big. I mean, it's not. I mean, you know, I have insurance.
It's not you.
know, it's not. You know what I mean? It's, you know, as long as you don't hurt yourself, I'm okay if you wreck it. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, but if I can inspire you or anyone to go out there and be inspired to go work harder, become better, you know, and improve themselves, why not? You know, it's like making memories. I remember the first time I drove a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And that what inspired me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
And I remember it was one of my friends who was super wealthy.
Yeah.
And he had a few drinks and I was like, all right, you know what I mean? You know, so that's what I did.
You want to know why I came down here? When I first moved here to LA, I was on bad terms in a relationship, and I was like, that's it, I'm moving here. I came here with no money. And that bush right over there, I slept in for 37 days.
Oh, wow.
And that was just a year ago, and now at this moment I'm driving a Rolls Royce past that spot.
I love that.
And that's something I strive for everybody to accomplish.
Yeah.
Your failures, your downtimes don't define you.
Yeah.
And I have the GoPro footage with that thing, showing that, and it was an amazing experience. And so I thank you for allowing me to experience that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Hey, it's an honor and a pleasure in so many different ways for me to be able to do that for you.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
You're an amazing person, Sam. I really appreciate.
No, I appreciate the opportunity.
You.
Of course, man. Of course.
We'll make a U-turn. Head on back. I'm actually going to shoot Dave Meltzer's headshots today.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah. He gave me his time, and I said I'd like to be of value to you. I heard him mention that he needed some headshots done, so I was like, let me come shoot some headshots for you. Yeah, this is definitely a nice ride to be proud of. That's for sure.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, it's been a long road.
Oh, absolutely, I imagine.
It's been a long road.
How's this thing on turning?
It doesn't turn very well. It's a big car.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go in there and then.
I think you can probably make that if you go little things like that. But it's a big car.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, we got that. Oh, she turns good.
You know, it's
beautiful.
This is a very big, heavy car,
man.
I
imagine.
It's so different when I get in this or get in a sports car. It's like almost like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like a go-kart compared to this.
Tell me, what does this car run? A car like this run you?
Oh man, this was a little over 400.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But every detail, every stitch put into this thing is craftsmanship.
Yeah, like I said, you know, when you get a Rolls Royce, you know, you just got over the top to top, everything, you know.
Absolutely.
So
that's why when you mentioned, you mind if I bring the Rolls? I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Well, most people, you know, like most people, like when I was younger, it was all about the Ferrari and the Lamborghinis and stuff like that.
Absolutely, those are cool too. But like you said, this is even that extra level.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh, what brought you to, or Pennsylvania, what necessarily brought you to LA?
Grad school. You know, the two best chiropractic schools were either in Iowa or in LA. So I wasn't going to Iowa after Pennsylvania.
So you said LA, that's where I want to be. What horsepower does this have?
I think like 620.
Yeah, I can feel it.
For a big heavy car.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? For a big heavy car.
What does it weigh, do you know?
It weighs 5,500 pounds.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
she's a big girl. Do you have a name for it?
No, man, I don't name my cars.
The Rolls Royce. Again, I'm Coast to Coast Studios, your host for Behind the Grams, where we dig into the stories, the motivations, and inspirations, such as individuals like Sam. Thank you very much again.
Of course. Appreciate it for
every experience you've given me today. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.